Hey, good morning to you. Appreciate you stopping in to see me. You know I do. Hey, this is Oz on Smash Bros Radio. Smash Bros Radio is the only digital independent radio station located in Jefferson County, Birmingham. Of course, you know that's Alabama, but we don't mention too much about Alabama. But anyway, it is what it is. So, but hey, we appreciate you stopping in. If you have not done so, please like, follow, share, subscribe. You can find Smash Bros on YouTube, Facebook, as well as Instagram. So check us out. Like, share, follow. As for eyes, you can find me on practically all medias. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook. So please like, follow, share, and subscribe. We would appreciate it deeply. Also, if you are an independent artist and you would like some type of platform, we're here for you. That's what Smash Bros. That's what Ralph and OT. That was one of the reasons why they started Smash Bros. Was to give an avenue, to give a platform to the independent artists, because those who have been in the industry for a long time know that the independent artists haven't really been given the opportunity that some have when it comes to having the recognition and all. So please check us out. Find out exactly what we can do for you, because we're here for you. Got a lot going on. The ceiling debt has increased. It will not be looked upon again until after 2024, which is a blessing. We still have to be cautious, and we have to be mindful that the fight is not over with yet. That as long as Republicans are in office and the idiots are still struggling with whatever they're struggling with, we still have to make sure that we are always cautious and always mindful of things around us. I was fortunate to find something I had been looking for. I hope I can find it. Because the Republican Party thinks that when it comes to Social Security, that Social Security is an entitlement, and they fail to realize stupidly that it is not an entitlement. Most all of us that are working, we put into Social Security, so it is our trust fund, and so we need to be mindful. We need to keep. Let me see if I can find it. I think this is it. Hold on for a moment. Let me play it for you. Did I do such a thing? I tell you that so now. Social Security has nothing to do with deficit. Social Security is perfectly funded by the payroll. You reduce the output. Good. That money is not going to general fund to reduce debt. It would go to the trust fund. But Social Security has nothing to do with balancing the budget or reducing the debt.
What's going on with the debt? It's very disturbing. The three big entitlement programs that are very popular: Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. That's 70% of what we spend every year. The subject we were just discussing, the funding of the government, is about 30% of what we spend. There's been a bipartisan reluctance to tackle entitlement changes because of the popularity of those programs. Hopefully, at some point here, we'll get serious about this. We haven't done.
So the first one that you heard was from Reagan.
I told you never did I do such a thing. But I tell you that so now. Social Security has nothing to do with the deficit. Social Security is totally funded by the payroll tax levied on employer and employee. If you reduce the outgo of Social Security, that money would not go into the general fund to reduce the deficit. It would go into the Social Security Trust Fund. So Social Security has nothing to do with balancing a budget or erasing or lowering the deficit. What's going on?
So what we've always known, Social Security has nothing to do with the deficit. Social Security, Medicare, has nothing to do with the debt. Has nothing to do with the debt. Those of us who work, that's our money. That is our money that is going into the system for our retirement. Because so you have to understand, initially, Social Security was created to serve as a supplement. Because back a long time ago, you had when you worked at a job, you had that relationship between your job and yourself. You had that loyalty between the two of you, that yes, I'm going to give you at least 30 years, and then you're going to give me my retirement. And then with my retirement, I'm going to have my Social Security. So Social Security was to have been used as a supplement to our retirement. That was how it was set up initially. That's how it was set up initially. Social Security was not to have been used as the sole check, the primary check. It was to be used as a secondary check. So for the Republicans to have the audacity to say that it is an entitlement, they're lying. Now, if you want to change Social Security, well, then I want my money that I have put into the system with compound interest, as well as the $3.7 trillion that Reagan and Bush raided the system from. Look it up. Google it. During Reagan's administration, when there were all those wars, all those lies going on, during Bush's administration, when all those wars and all those lies were going on, it was an understanding that the Congress would allow you to go into the Social Security fund, borrow the money with the understanding that you would pay it back. Well, that $3.7 trillion has yet to be paid back. So if you wish to change Social Security, well, then I want my money back. I want the money that I put into my system, into my trust fund, with compound interest, and then I want the $3.7 trillion that under Reagan's administration and Bush's administration raided, stole. I want the money back. Now, should the system be changed or modified? Possibly, because initially all the social programs that were created to be short-term and not long-term. They were short-term effects. It wasn't supposed to be a vicious cycle to where generations after generations after generations after generations were prisoned or slave to the system. So yes, the programs should be modified. Social Security should be left alone because, see, that's a different group, a different entity, a different fund. Because see, the employer takes out a certain amount of the employee's money to go into a trust fund for those of us who work. So it's not an entitlement. And if you wish to use the word entitled, okay, I can use the word. I'm entitled to get my goddamn money back. I'm entitled to get what I put into the system to get back. And I think that there should be some type of provision in the Constitution that states that if Congress cannot maintain its responsibility and its due diligence when it comes to the citizens, as when it comes to a balanced budget, when it comes to us as a whole, within that their salaries should be held. And they should not be given another way, or should not be allowed to give themselves another raise until the citizens, until their constituents are taken care of. So let me play that back. The first one that you're going to hear is from Reagan. Reagan didn't even wish to make the speech because he knew that what he was about to do was going to uncover the lies. The second one is from the damn turtle, McConnell, lying. So again, the first one that you're going to hear is from Reagan. The second one is from McConnell lying. Now this is McConnell.
Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. That's 70% of what we spend every year. Something we were just discussing, the funding of the government is about 30% of what we spend. Bipartisan reluctance to tackle entitlement changes because of the popularity of those programs. Hopefully, at some point here, we'll get serious about this. We haven't done.
Now this is Reagan.
Let's lay it responsibility. I told you never would I do such a thing. But I tell you also now, Social Security has nothing to do with the deficit. Social Security is totally funded by the payroll tax levied on employer and employee. If you reduce the outgo of Social Security, that money would not go into the general fund to reduce the deficit. It would go into the Social Security Trust Fund. So Social Security has nothing to do with balancing a budget or erasing or lowering the deficit.
What's going on?
So, again, you heard that from Reagan. Social Security has nothing to do with the debt. Never had anything to do with the debt. So it's, again, lies that the Republicans have perpetrated, that have propagated. Propaganda. So again, I state, if you're going to change Social Security, well, then I want my money back that I have paid into the system, compound interest, as well as I want the $3.7 trillion that Reagan and Bush's administrations have robbed the system. I want my $3.7 trillion back. Because Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid has nothing to do with the debt. Social Security has nothing to do. Now, Medicaid, that's a different thing. Because 9 times out of 10, because see, Medicare is for those of us who work. Medicaid, C-A-R-D, is for the poor, the less advantaged. So let's just, so from now on, whenever you hear some Republicans saying that, well, we have to do something with Social Security, yes, you do. You need to, first of all, give me my goddamn raise, cost of living raise. Then you need to put the $3.7 trillion back into the trust fund. That's what you need to do. If you want to change, yes, you need to change. You need to give those of us on Social Security, you need to give us a cost of living raise, as well as put back the $3.7 trillion that y'all stole out of it, that you robbed the system. That's what you need to do. And until people wake up and finally look at the Republicans like they are, they're low-down sons of bitches. Anyone who's a Republican, and I'm ashamed to say that even the moderates, if you have allowed these idiots the free will to bring down your party, well, then you are part of the problem. You are part of the problem. So if you know any Republicans and all, they're not your friends, they're your enemies. If they have not come out in against what is perpetrating, what is going on in their party, they're the problem. They're the problem. And we have to do our due diligence, especially now in this system. In what is transpiring now, we need to be conscientious of what is going on. And those of you who are parents who have children, you have to do extremely your due diligence to make sure that your child or your children, your legacies are protected. What are we leaving the next generation? What are we leaving them? And again, I state, as I've stated many times before, COVID has whipped our ass. And it's still whipping our ass. We are not finished with COVID yet. And I still state venomously, adamantly, boldly, you have 20 years remaining of dealing with COVID, getting some type of control over COVID. 20 years. And that's conservatively speaking. 20 years. So let's put it in a perspective, proper perspective. I'm 63 years old. In 20 years, I'll be 83. If you have children, if they're 5, they'll be 25. If you have a teenager and they're 18, they'll be 38. If you're in your 40s, you're going to be in your 60s. If you're in your 30s, you're going to be in your 50s. So see, 20 years we are going to have to deal with this issue of COVID because it was not handled properly and effectively and efficiently when it should have been. You have 15 individuals. I think it's called the Independent Caucus. It should be called the Idiots Caucus. 15 individuals that are running the Republican Party. 15. A minority dictating. But people of their district voted these idiots in. And let's not talk about the 2 idiots in the Senate. One supposed to be an independent and one from West Virginia, who are supposedly Democrat. We not only have to be conscientious of people around us, but people who are part of our group. And we need to stop calling these individuals Uncle Toms because they're not Uncle Toms, they're Uncle Remus. And if you don't know the difference, you need to read the book or at least Google it to find out that Uncle Tom was not the bad one. It was Uncle Remus that was the bad one. Because Uncle Remus would work in the field and then go back to the master and tell the master what the people in the field were doing. Uncle Tom would go from the master and tell the people in the field what the master was about to do. So they shouldn't be called Uncle Toms. They should be called Uncle Remus. Because Uncle Remus was the spy, was a mole, was a traitor. It wasn't Uncle Tom. It was Uncle Remus that was a traitor. But yes, the systems, the services should be modified, should be brought up to date. And when you look at the bigger picture, the entire system should be modified. The way that we ship merchandise, fruits and vegetables. The migrant workers that travel from harvest to harvest. Now, let me speak for myself. I can't speak. Let me speak. I am not equipped to go to the field and to harvest those crops that those individuals harvest. It takes a special individual to be able to handle that type of work. I'm not equipped. I'm not equipped. I'm going to let you know I'm lazy. I'm a lazy ass motherfucker. I can't do it. And if it came down to it, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not saying I'm better. I'm just not equipped. I'm not equipped to be a construction worker. I'm not equipped to be a doctor or a lawyer or a librarian or an accountant. I'm not built for that. I'm not made for that. And we have to give special recognition to those individuals who are equipped to do those jobs. We have to do a special recognition, and we have to give them their due for what they perform. You have crops rotting in the fields now because of scare tactics. You have construction sites being cleared because of scare tactics. And those of us who haven't been in school, shoot, those of us, what is it? I'm celebrating my 40th year, I think it is. I graduated in 78. So if you're in your 50s and 50s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, you don't remember what the hell you were taught in government. Most of you don't even know what the Constitution says. And you can read the Constitution in one setting. It's a very small document. It's heavy reading, but you can read it in one setting because it's not that large. But see, the Republican Party wants a dummy constituency. They want dummy citizens. They want citizens that cannot think for themselves. And college was not intended for everybody. That's why you have trade schools or vocational schools. That's why you have other occupations. Being a migrant worker and being able to sustain that type of environment and work, it takes a lot. That is a lot of tenacity, a lot of strength. And they need to be given the recognition, and also they need to be rewarded for what they do. Because we wouldn't have the food or the fruits and vegetables that we'd have if it weren't for the migrant workers. You have fascism, communism, socialism, capitalism. Most of you don't even know what the fuck the words mean. And because you don't understand the word of socialism, oh, that's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. We can't be. Motherfuckers, we've always been a socialist country. What do you think Social Security is? Sometimes government has no purpose, no right to interfere. But when it comes as a nation as a whole, the government should have some say. They should have some say when it comes to education, that every child in the United States should be afforded this. When it comes to health care, every family should be afforded health care. When it comes to voting, straight across the board. Electoral college should never be anymore. We should do away with the electoral college. There's no purpose for it. There's no reason for it. We are more advanced. It serves no purpose except to cause confusion. And if the government was functioning effectively, efficiently, like it's supposed to, we could have an election without any fear of wrongdoing. But see, when you have old white men, WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant men over 40, scared that they're going to lose their power, and because of their greed, you're still going to have confusion. And then for you to have those white bitches up in there, and then you have those Uncle Remuses, it just adds to the problems. Just adds to the problems. We have to have some type of sense of pride, some type of sense in believing in ourselves. And if we are a nation under God, there should be no reason for there to be the poor, the veterans, and the children living in the conditions that they're living in. And one mother, one individual should not dictate what others do. And I keep telling you, the backbone, the bloodline of white supremacy is a white female. The white female holds all the power because she's scared that she's going to lose her position, her security. And it's a myth that the mistress of the plantation was this weak, soft-spoken woman. Southern women are not soft-spoken, nor are they weak. They're strong women. Most of them are dominating. They're strong business. What do you think a plantation was? A plantation was a large farm. It was a large business, a large enterprise. And you had to know how to maneuver, how to work business, what prices to charge to make sure that your a plantation ran effectively. Why do you think some of these plantation owners had more than one plantation? Some plantation owners had up to 3, sometimes 4 plantations. Don't talk about that. But it's time for us to be more diligent on what is happening around us. Because you have a party that is against the middle class. But history has dictated that every revolution that was started by the middle class, because the middle class got tired of being burdened because the rich are not paying what they're supposed to be. The poor can't pay, and it's left up to the middle class to take care. We can't do it no more. We don't mind doing it. We just can't do it no more because you're affecting us when it comes to our families. Now, if you want us, then you need to raise minimum wage, and you need to bring the cost of living up to par. And it can be done. The huge corporations, that 1% of individuals who can go anywhere they want to, can do whatever the hell they want to, they can pay at least 15% of what their money, at least 15%. And stop giving these huge corporations these tax breaks because they don't need them. And these CEOs who are getting these bonuses, they don't need them. These pharmaceutical companies, they don't need that fucking money, especially when they're being funded by the government. My money, taxpayers' money. But it's time for us to be more conscientious about what's happening around us. And if you don't vote, you need to get your asses up to vote, because if you don't vote and the Republicans get their way, well, then you're not going to have any money. That means that Section 8 is going to be done away with. WIC is going to be done away with. And those of you who are living in these homes and ain't doing shit, you're going to be homeless. So you don't know if your vote's not going to count or not because you don't vote. How the hell do you know if you're not going to count? So it's time for us to be more aware, more conscientious of what's surrounding us. It can be done. And it can be done swiftly if there's a group effort. If there's a group effort in this 2024 election. Now understand, the Democrats aren't any better than the Republicans. Don't get misled. The Democrats are not any better than the Republicans because they're greedy sons of bitches too, but they're weak. They're not as aggressive and evil-spirited per se as what the Republicans are. But when it comes down to who is the less of the evils, because the Democrats are corrupted too. Don't get misled. But we have to hold them accountable for their actions. You want my vote? This is what I want. And you don't do what you're going to say, we're going to put you out. We're not going to make your life comfortable. You're not going to go in there being an upper middle class and come out being a millionaire. And also lobbyists, there should be abolishing all the lobbyists because all that is bribery. There should be no lobbying going on. And also this PACs and all that should be outlawed too. Political funding should be outlawed. Should be more visible, should be more transparent. Where's the money coming from? This is a chance for the Democrats to get up off their asses and start flooding the media with what the Republicans have done and what they have not done. They haven't done anything for the veterans. If anything, they have tried to tear down the veterans. They haven't done anything for the elderly. They haven't done anything for the children. And we need to put a spotlight on them. These are your representatives. And this is what they did not do, and this is what they voted against. We have a senator from Alabama, Tubbyville. That's a low-down son of a bitch that was never a good coach. Was a piss-poor coach. Piss-poor human. That has voted against giving the veterans a raise because of his stupidity. He needs to be voted out. And plus two, he's illiterate. He doesn't do open, open interviews because he can't. He can't answer the questions. And the other senator that we have, I don't trust her, but I trust her more than I do him. Because I think that as she gets more experienced in her position, I think that she's going to become more moderate than what she is now. She's not. She's more conservative. But I think that she's going to become somewhat of a moderate. Because I think that she does have some goodness in her. I would like to think so. Tubbyville has no business being in office. He's an idiot. Plus, he does not live in Alabama. And then for Alabamians to allow this son of a bitch to represent us, he doesn't even live in Alabama. That is corruption. Doug Jones should be our senator. Doug Jones was straight across the board. And Doug Jones needs to get back into the Senate. Tubbyville needs to be put out. So, this is a chance. This is a time for the Democrats to flood the market with what the Republicans are trying to do. They need to put a spotlight on the Republicans. Because, see, when 2024 road comes along, a lot of us are going to forget what the Republicans didn't do. So it needs to be constantly reminded. It needs to be constantly put in the forefront. These are the ones that you voted for, but they voted against your interest. They didn't vote for what you wanted. They voted against your interest. It is what it is. So, I wanted to start out with something else, but I felt the need to start out with that. So hopefully you've listened. I'm hoping. Now, because of everything that is transpiring, because of everything that's happening. I know that it's really hard on the families and for individuals. We have to keep in mind that we have to continue the fight. We have to have more self awareness. We have to have more self confidence. We need to believe more in ourselves. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard. Parents, I know I cannot even imagine what you're going through. But you're doing it, and you're doing a damn good job. Damn good job. And you are appreciated. We know what you're doing, parents. We know what you're doing. We know that you're doing the best that you can, and you're doing better than the best that you can. You're doing awesome. You're still maintaining. But the fight isn't over with yet. And I know you wish that you could take a deep, and sometimes you need to. Sometimes you just need to take a step back and just cry. And I'm not talking about a pitiful, I'm talking about a cry of release. It's time to acknowledge those individuals that we appreciate, that we love, that we cherish, that we respect. Let them know, I see you. I see you. You got this. There's no time to give up. This is no time to give up. This is no time to give up. This is no time to give up. And we got to keep in our head, it is okay not to be okay. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? It is okay not to be okay. It is okay not to be okay. It is okay not to be okay. We're going to hit those snags. We are. And we're going to take that deep breath. And we're going to keep on. We're going to pray. We're going to hug. Oh, man. I believe in the power of hugs as much as I believe in the power of prayers. Especially when you get somebody who knows how to hug. Because, see, everybody can't hug. People can hug, but there's a hug. I can hug. I'm a good hugger. And if you don't know what a good hug, you remember having a big mama or my dear or great aunt or your mama or your daddy that can you just felt so content and so safe when they gave you that hug. And you laid your head against their breast and you felt their heartbeat. And sometimes it just puts you to sleep because you felt so damn good. And that's what we need. Those are hugs we need to give us the strength, to give us a tenacity, to give us that motivation that I'm going to be okay. I ain't okay now, but I'm going to be okay. I know I'm going to be okay because I'm loved. I'm appreciated. I'm needed. I have value. I have worth. You can do it. Trust me. I've been there. I've been there. I've had those doubts. And sometimes I still have doubts. But you're going to be okay. This is not the time to give up. You have to understand that when you see people who are successful, you don't know how many years they have behind them before they got to be successful. You don't know what they went through, what they gave up, what they sacrificed. to have what they have now. Because all you see is what they have now, but you don't know what they didn't have. And I would wager 98% of individuals who are successful, they went through hell. They went through hell. They had more than one learning experience. See, I don't see failures as failure. I see failures as a learning experience. And plus, it gives you the chance of, do I really want to go through this bullshit? Is this really worth me sacrificing? How bad do I want this? How bad do I want to be a music producer? How bad do I want to be part of the music industry? Here in Alabama, we're blessed. We have individuals that have 2 award winners who have worked with the best of the best of the best of the best. And it's easier to list those individuals they have not worked with than those individuals that they have worked with. And I would name some, but I don't want to miss or not or forget somebody's name. But they know who they are. And I've been blessed to know them, to actually speak with them, to actually be with them. But it's hard. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. You can't tell me about being hard. You can't tell me about the sacrifices. You can't tell me about the tears. You can't tell me about the doubts, the worries, the fears. Can't tell me. I've been there, going through it now. But I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. I'm going on my 3rd year having a morning show. 3 years. I've not conquered my anxiety. I'm better at handling and managing my anxiety because today's a good example, because I started walking because they were trying to put me on some diabetic medicine that was going to be harmful to my kidneys and liver. And there ain't no way in hell that I'm going to take any other medicine that's going to be a problem, a possible problem. So I started walking. And because of me started walking, I've gone from 206 to 198. My cholesterol is good. Finally, never been good. My cholesterol is good. My kidneys are stable. My liver is good. My F1, whatever, is good. I'm above being a diabetic, but the Dr. Armour still wants me to take the medicine just in case. But I'm not going to take the medicine. I'm going to continue walking. So I walked this morning because with me having myasthenia gravis, it's better for me to do things in the morning than in the afternoon. So I walked this morning around 6 o'clock. And it usually takes me an hour to walk 3 miles. And I got here at the station, I think around 8:30 or 8:45. See, that's new for me because I'm usually here an hour or 2 hours before because I get hyper. Because I need to make sure that I remember exactly what's going on. But I got here at 8:45. I was able to set up, and even when it came to the background, when it comes to my logo, I was able to fix it or whatever to put it on the screen. And I was not hyper. My anxiety didn't hit in. So I'm getting better. So now I know that depending on the traffic, and the traffic wasn't as heavy as I thought it would be. I got here, I think, 8:45, able to set up the studio and to do the show. So you can't tell me that I don't understand, because I understand. I can empathize with you. I understand. And those of you know that I don't like the word sympathy, because sympathy to me is just someone they really don't care about how you're feeling and don't really want to understand. So I can sympathize. No, I don't want you to sympathize with me. Because see, I think that you're playing me. Don't sympathize with me. Just you can say that I don't understand, and I can accept that. But don't say the word sympathy, because then I'm thinking that, well, really, you don't give a happy goddamn how I'm feeling, what I'm going through. You're just trying to ease your conscience. Well, bitch, I'm not going to allow you to ease your conscience on my time, on my dime. But see, I can empathize with you. I understand what you're going through. I understand. I had a fear that if the debt ceiling was not raised and if Congress did not act appropriately or properly, there was going to be a possibility that I was going to have my Social Security check for at least 2-3 months. So I have to live off of my teacher's retirement, which I can't, but I was going to make do, which meant that some things were not going to get paid. So that anxiety, I'm 63 years old. Who the hell am I going to move in with? Who in the hell going to help me? Nobody. And they're not supposed to help me. So I understand. I understand. You're going to be okay. This is no time. You can have doubts. Yeah. Yeah, you can have doubts, but don't let that doubt feed on your fear. Take control. You can have doubt. You may not be getting the recognition or the acknowledgement that you rightfully deserve. That's okay. You're going to get it when it's your time. And you ask, well, when the fuck is my time? I don't know. But know that it's just not the time to give up. It's never the time to give up. That is not even part of the equation, folks. Giving up is not part of the equation, nor is it part of your DNA. So I don't want to hear that shit. No, baby. Come again. Come again. Because I ain't hearing that shit. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You're doing good. You're doing better than most. It's not your time, baby. Not yet. Still keep focused. Still enjoy doing what you're doing. Still produce what you're producing. Use what you're going through as a motivation. Spread your wings. Use what you're going through as something new to your genre, to your portfolio. Because you can do it. I know you can do it. And those of you who had me as a teacher, you survived me. Hell, that should tell you something. You survived crazy ass me. And if you can survive me, you can survive anybody and anything. I didn't teach dummies. Sure didn't. I didn't teach dummies. I taught some ugly ass folks, but I didn't teach any dummies. None of my kids were dummies. None of you. You came from good families. But I believe in you. I have faith in you. I respect you. I admire you. I appreciate you. You're going to be okay. Trust me. Trust the bald-headed son of a bitch. You're going to be okay. Trust your Dutch uncle. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay, folks. We're going to be okay. Trust me. Oh, boy. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you. Appreciate you allowing me to come in. I appreciate you stopping in to see me, because I know I'm something to see. Appreciate you. Again, Smash Bros Radio. Only independent digital radio station in where? Jefferson County, Birmingham. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube as well, on Facebook. Smash Bros Radio. I'm OZZz. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. You can even find me on YouTube. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow, Tuesday. I got my little brother with me. My nephew. Done It will be on Tuesday. His show is right after mine. Also, please check out Berries by Crystal. Let me tell you about Berries. Oh, my God. If you love strawberries, you're going to love strawberry. Oh, Berries by Crystal. Let me tell you. Oh, my God. Berries by Crystal. Check them out. Check them out. Check them out. Check them out. I appreciate you. Know your value. Know your worth. Know that you are the one that brings obstacles to you. And most importantly, know that I love you more than I love my luggage. I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all be safe out there. Bye. The live stream on the show. On the show. The live stream. On the show. The live stream. The live stream on the show.